Adventure of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Since the point has been missed, through the red on your lips and the lies in your kiss, you won't convince. Since my mind has been made, and tonight is the same. What a waste of a bad frame.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest, who is just a couple hours north of me because they have a show in Orlando tonight, and I'm like, well, I can't believe they scheduled this interview right before the show, because that's pretty badass. Most may not, unless you're up there at the venue. So it's pretty cool. You're down here in South Florida, a little warmer than home for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's I think it's like 8 degrees back home right now, maybe even less. Yeah, they're getting a lot of snow up there.
Yeah, it might even be too hot for you here at this point, you know?
Actually, right now, I'm chilling. It's a brisk, like 50, 60 degrees, so we're doing all right. I imagine everyone here is freezing, but they've all got coats on.
Oh, yeah, well, listen, this is Florida. When it gets to 75, they put on their parkas, okay?
Right.
But it is wild because the humidity, it is colder here. Because, like, I'm from Jersey. If it's 40 in Jersey, I'll go out in a t-shirt.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Here, I'm freezing at 40.
It's tough. In Wisconsin, it definitely gets humid during the summer, but real dry in the wintertime. So, you know, it's kind of a
it's better that way. Because it's like, it's
Yeah.
wet during the winter. Like, it's a wet cold.
Yeah.
But you guys are going to kick ass here tonight at the Abbey.
Yeah, I think it's sold out. I think we sold out.
It is sold out. I looked right before getting on, and it is sold out.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun night. There's already a huge line all the way around the corner. Everybody seems to be real excited. They've all got their show faces and show T-shirts on. So I think everybody's ready to party. I'm ready to go too. This is going to be fun.
That is going to be fun. And your newest single, "Never Enough," that's a badass song. Are you going to play that tonight?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We're for sure playing that. We've been playing that every night so far on this tour, and it's been received so well. We're so grateful. And then, of course, the way it's been going online has just been super awesome. So we're really encouraged. People have been loving it. They've been telling us all sorts of nice things about it. So, and it rips. It's so much fun to play live, and I think that translates to the audiences pretty well as we're doing it. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun, dude. You're always like a little worried about how it's going to be received, but all those worries were for naught because it has been going great, you know.
I love hearing that. And yeah, it is true though, because when you're having fun, that makes a world of difference. Like us, the listeners, we can tell if you're having fun or you're having like a Perry Farrell moment.
Yeah.
You know? But I gotta tell you too, this song, like, this probably appeals to every person walking the face of the earth. And I know for myself, it's definitely hits home for me. I mean, first of all, I have 2 ex-wives that I had that same scenario with. I seem to everybody I ever pick in my whole life, that same scenario. And we live in a world right now that, oh my God, I just want to isolate because I don't even like anybody I used to like anymore.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I feel like we know a little bit too much about everybody these days. You know, it's a little scary. But,
yeah. So
it's definitely a relatable song. I think that was kind of something we wanted to hit a few, like we wanted to be a little relatable. And it's something that I've been going through, or not been going, but gone through in recent years. So it was right on the tip of my mind, or tip of my tongue, whatever you want to say. So it's just kind of what came out in the studio.
So tell the listeners from your perspective as the artist what the song means to you.
It's absolutely a song about toxicity in relationships, you know. It's a real struggle to kind of convince yourself to do the right thing in those scenarios, because you've got all this pressure telling you to stay together. Everyone, you've got all these preconceptions of what a relationship's supposed to be. Maybe there's history at play. There's so many reasons that are like, oh, but if I just stay a little longer, But the reality is, in so many of those situations, you're just hurting yourself and you're hurting the person you're with. Like, you're being dishonest. And I feel like that's what we wanted to try to find in that song, was like just how bleak it feels sometimes, being in the throes of just like you feel stuck. You feel like you can't move and there's nothing you can do except give into your worst vices. And that's kind of where that song goes. We try to keep it a bit open-ended so that like everyone can kind of assign their stories to it, so that people can find their meaning within it. But yeah, that's generally the rule of thumb, the idea for that song.
I think that's the way it should be. The last interview I was talking about that too. Like if you're going to write a song, like it has meaning to you as the artist, but then the listener, like myself, can put my own meaning to it as well.
Absolutely. I think it's almost as important, because like as an artist, I for sure write music more for me than I do for the fans.
Sure.
But I absolutely want them to be able to get something out of it. And the whole music connects everything. You know what I mean? So it only makes sense that people are going to try to connect with something. And the most powerful tunes out there are the ones you can connect with, So
totally.
To do that, you have to have something that's like, that has that relatability. You have to have that ingrained in there somewhere. And, you don't necessarily have to as an artist. There's plenty of artists out there that talk about things that no one's got any idea what they're talking about. But like, who cares? Like, do what you want to do. That's just, I find that if you have a message and you want someone to be able to feel a thing, you got to leave a little space for them in there,
No doubt. I love that, because that makes you a true artist, because yes, you are writing it for you, but you want to help others at the same time, because music's therapy for both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
And I got to tell you too, like, how about the people that are in these toxic relationships? They finally do leave, and then like a few years later, they're back in that relationship, because I don't know, it's like it's almost like that's a comfort zone. It's a comfort zone, the toxicity itself.
I think people are more, I don't know, I don't want to generalize, but it's so easy to be comfortable even in misery, you know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to like, as long as your status quo is met, there are so many things that we can just let slide. And like, it really speaks to just how much people value their lives and their time here on this earth, that like they would just let those years slip away just in misery. It's not like a rule of the world that you have to be miserable. Like, there's a lot of miserable shit about the world, but like, you don't have to be. You can choose joy. You can choose to find that little thing that keeps you happy, or to do the big thing that's going to hurt in the short term, but going to help you in the long run. And we all have had addictions of some sort. Everybody relapses. Some people really have a really strong connection to love itself, and they can't. A lot of people can't handle them, just like being alone, and it's tough. It is tough to be alone. So like, it's just a give and take, and you just hope that wherever you end up, it's somewhere positive, and then if it's not positive, that you do the work it takes to get there, because it's possible no matter what.
Well, it's funny when we're young, or at least I'll speak for myself, when you think the toxicity is cool and you think the trauma bonding is cool. Yeah.
I can definitely see that. I mean, I'm not old yet, but I'm not young anymore either. So like, I've been I've been around a couple of times, and I've definitely been in that position. It's like, when you're younger, it feels cool to be a little edgy, you know what I mean? And you think, but I don't know, you got to live your life. You got to, whatever steps you got to take to get to where you got to be, take those steps. Some people got to rebel. Some people got to go hard the wrong direction to get to the right side, so like, and everybody's path is different, and to say one is less than another is silly. So I don't know.
Absolutely. Everybody's got a different path, and everybody has these things, and that's the beauty of music, is that you can have everybody like finding something in a song like this that appeals to their life and gives them therapy. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely. I can't tell you how many times, especially on tours like this, you get someone coming up to the merch table just saying like, "Hey, this song really helped me get through a hard time." And a lot of times, it's tough being coming right off that position. Like, I just got off stage. I'm like, huffing and puffing, trying to like get back to some sort of normal. And a fan's trying to be super heartfelt. You got to be like, find a way to like zap yourself back into the moment to be like, "Oh my God, thank you," because like
right?
that means so much, to hear that, because that's part of the goal. Like, it's not. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, my whole goal to be a musician is so I can reach out and touch people's hearts. But like, I want that. Of course, I
Sure.
want to be able to leave a mark and to like hope that some of the things that I've worked through is something that someone else can use. Like, I absolutely want that, and to
There you
be able
go.
to like have that interaction with a fan on the day is always really fun.
What was that first moment in your life where you thought of why you should be in music?
Hmm. Well, it's for me. I just kind of I've always had that. It's always been in me. I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, I grew up in choir. I was a church kid. I grew up around the church, really strict Baptist, so it was all piano and hymnals and things like that. So I grew up just singing. Everybody in my family was just singing all the time and playing music. And it at some point I remember being like, "Mom, I don't want to play piano anymore because I can't carry it on stage." And that's just about like little did I know that keyboards existed at the time, but I was a sheltered boy. So, but yeah, I just have always had this drive to be there, even before I knew what it was. When you grow up in the church, you're generally very sheltered. So like, I didn't know what a rock show was. I didn't know that like people gathered at venues to like watch live music. I knew that there was a church 5 miles down the road where I sang and praised Jesus once every Sunday. That's about as far as I knew. So like, but there was always still something in me that was like, this is it. And I never even thought for a second about anything else. Not this whole time. I wish I would have sometimes, but now that we're here and now that things are going as encouraging as they are, I'm I've just been so grateful to have stayed on the course this whole time.
And so after that experience, what was the first thing that exposed you to metal?
Oh, to metal? Well, like I said, I grew up in the church, and like churchcore was a big deal back in like 2005, 2007. Like, you had like Double Earth Prada doing the church
Yeah.
circuit. You had like, some more like on the religious side, you had like Disciple and like other bands like that. So it just kind of was there. I was a youth leader, so it was a big deal. By the time I was in high school, I was going to a regular church that was like had like rock band worship teams, that kind of thing. So like,
Nice.
by then it was the cool thing, to wear the I wrestled Bear One's t-shirt at youth group. So it was there. It was always there. And to be perfectly honest with you, for the first few years of being exposed to it, I was not a fan. I was like, who did this? Who decided that this was supposed to be cool? I want to talk to a manager. But like, you get worn down over time. And eventually I was like, okay, this shit's kind of neat. I kind of like it. And I think it was the band Memphis Mayfire that really changed my perspective. It was hearing The Hollow, that record,
Yeah.
and just being like, oh, you can do this and still be like melodic and have this great powerful voice, and it doesn't have to be like strict 3-note choruses. Okay, great, I'm super in. So I was that's the kind of what hooked me. It for sure was like, it wasn't the heavy bits. The heavy bits were like all right, I'll deal with this to get to the singing part. And then
Right.
and then I eventually started to fall in love with them too. You start to develop like an appreciation. Your ear develops a little bit better, and you start to understand what the hell people are saying finally. And you're like, oh, this shit kind of rips. So it
See,
took,
and
it took a while for me.
I love that, and I love what you say about Memphis Mayfire, because Matty is like one of the nicest guys on the
Oh,
face of
dude.
the earth.
Yep.
And like, people have this perception of metal, and some of the most brutal singers are like heavy duty Christians, like Tom Araya. Has always been a major Christian. Back in the day, he would laugh that people thought he was a devil worshiper.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, dude, I've been doing the touring thing for about maybe 6 years now, decently. And most of the people that I've met, we just want to hang out with our cats.
Right?
We're up there like screaming our heads off, doing dumb shit to try to look big, bad, and cool. But then like we get off stage and we're just like opening up Snapchats from our girlfriends to try to see our kitties. Like, that's really generally how metal dudes work. Like,
I
there's
love
some
it.
of us who try to be hard, but like, we all kind of make fun of them. To be real with you, like.
Well, you know what's funny about that is I've talked about that with artists at festivals doing an interview, and like we're like, and the artists will be like, but let's not let anybody know that we're actually like this, you know.
I am unabashedly myself. Everybody that I know and have run with that I think are the cool people are always going to be the most honest about that stuff. Like, I don't know, man. It's so easy to be genuine.
Yeah.
It's not hard to.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I just kind of gravitate toward those types of people, just generally speaking. You know, like if there's a big actor, someone's cool guying, you know, I'm like, good for you. I'm just going to hang out, do my own thing.
There you go. I just tell people, you do you.
Yeah,
that's my viewpoint, man.
Mm-hmm. Let people live and let live.
There it is. So tell everybody how they can reach out to you guys on socials, on the web, get your music, buy your merch, because that's most important, because that's how you can keep playing for us and putting music
Absolutely.
out.
I mean, the best way to stay connected is going to be like probably TikTok or Instagram. Instagram especially if you want to know about tours. We have the biggest following, I think, there. So like we have just the larger reach. So go follow us on Instagram at ArchersUS. You can also find us on TikTok through the same handle. And if you do follow us on TikTok, we've got a little link. We got a little link tree. It takes you to all of our stuff. It's got gonna have merch. It's going to have ticket sales. It's going to have everything that you need to stay connected with us. It's on our TikTok at ArchersUS. You can check that out.
And is there any TikToks that you've done that you're like, oh, I can't believe I did that?
Oh, dude, every single one I do, I can't handle it. It's crazy. I so cringe. I've got a bassist who's really, really good with the TikTok stuff, so I'm very grateful I don't have to deal with that. I have to do a stuff here and there, and I don't mind it. I just kind of turn off my cringe switch and just do it, you know. And then I'll just like wring my hands later. I don't know, kind of like that. But I just let it go, and like you got to do what you got to do. It's just the nature of the business these days. Like TikTok is really important, and whether you like it or not, just do it. Like, it's worth it. It's good. It works out in the end.
There you go. Well, you guys are going to kick ass there tonight at the Abbey in Orlando. And thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman, and can't wait to see more of you. You guys are going to be at other festivals this year too, right?
Yeah, we've got actually, I think we've got some European stuff coming up, and then we'll be announcing some stuff throughout the rest of the year. I'm not sure when yet. We don't have a lot of solid details, but I know we're doing some European festivals. I'm hoping that we get to come around to some of these U.S. ones, but most likely we're going to be focused on Europe this summer and then coming back and hitting it hard next year on the festival circuits. That's the goal. You know, everybody's got
nice. And you're going on to tour supporting Catch Your Breath.
Yep, that's where we're out with right now.
That's what you're on right now.
It's us, Catch Your Breath, The Funeral Portrait, and If Not For Me. Honestly, it's been electric. It's literally, this is the future of metalcore lineup, essentially. It's what it feels like. It's I don't know, there's like that electricity that you used to feel at shows back in like 2008, 2009, and you'd be like, oh, there's something happening here. And it's super cool because like all these bands are right on the cusp of something majorly cool, and I'm so stoked to be a part of it.
Well, I'm stoked you're a part of it too, and I'll be at some of those festivals in the UK and Europe, so hopefully I'll see you there too.
Awesome. That'd be great. Well, thank you for having me, man.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for being here, and thanks for making us great music and being a good role model.
I do my best. I don't say I don't know if I go so far to be a role model, but I do my best.
There you go. All right. Have a great show.
You too. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.